that they have on the default skin. So, okay. They just put the iconic look as a pay to win skin. You gave my primary attack 1 damage? 1? Then there's an empty vacuum in space where we can toss you without air. But I do hate those people. I really hate those people. People who can't think logically, genuinely bring down society and make it more dangerous and honestly harder for anybody else. If you think that someone who puts in effort to become good at something should be treated the same as somebody who does nothing, then yeah, you're absolutely the problem. And an airless vacuum in space where we should toss your body.
This was the last Unranked to GM I'm going to be doing on Marvel Rivals for a very long time, if forever. I'm just going to be real with you guys. This game is not getting any better. This game is not getting any better. It is on a downward spiral in terms of competitive integrity. And right now, bro, I need a game to be competitive. I need a game that respects the time we put into it. And I'm going to be honest, guys, that game is not Marvel Rivals for this time. Now, I'm just going to be honest. We're leaving this game. We're not making content on this game for quite some time. 06 Secure Profit, thank you for following. We're not making Rivals content for quite a bit. I'm probably not making guides either. We're probably just going to rip off the Band-Aid and just go all in the deadlock. That does not mean I'm never going to return. There's a world where I could come back to Rivals when maybe I give it maybe 3-6 months. Maybe if the game's a lot better. Maybe we'll come back. That being said, if you guys want to unsubscribe, it's been a great ride. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's been a great ride. I do appreciate everyone for being here and watching. I'm not going to lie. The content creation dream was going to die in Marvel Rivals if it didn't work out. But you guys made it real. We made this shit work. You guys have shown me that we have what it takes to be a content creator. Now it's time to take the next step.
Recently, I've gotten an actual 9-to-5 job. With this job, I'm able to step away from Rivals a little bit. Rivals has gotten to the point to where I don't have fun anymore. So I'm streaming it just to make money. I don't want to be streaming and be miserable. Part of the reason why I haven't been stepping away from Rivals is because it's my main source of income. So me stepping away from Rivals is going to give me a big pay cut. And when I say a big pay cut, I'm talking 80% of my pay, which is a lot, especially when you have a house and a family to take care of. Get into Rivals, the reason why I'm leaving. Honestly, it's just the fact that I have beaten the game. I have beaten Rivals. Red flag number 2 is the matchmaking. It is so annoying winning 8 games in a row out of nowhere and then losing another 8 games in a row out of nowhere. So there's clearly something wrong with the matchmaking. I don't know what's going on with it, but it needs to be fixed.
I would just like to talk about the reason why I'm actually fully quitting, especially content. Every time I hop on stream nowadays, I just mold and I cry about the game being just awful. And I just don't have fun playing alone anymore. I think it's honestly just outrageous. Like, if you watch my streams, you see how my mood does a full 180 when I queue with someone or play with someone that I like versus solo queue. I just don't find the game fun anymore, especially when I'm alone all the time. Talk about another thing, right? EoMM. Guang is straight up lying to my face. This guy's a laughing devil. There's no way he said EoMM isn't real. How can you tell me I have consistent proof of me going on win streaks and then the next day I go on a 9 loss streak?
I am done with this game. I am so fed up with this fucking game so much that they don't know how to fix it. They bring broken ass characters, they don't balance anything, they keep hot fixing this, and then destroyed the good characters that could challenge other characters that could be broken. It's too much toxicity. Rank is bullshit. It's such a half-ass fucking game that they don't know what they doing half the fucking time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I want to get straight to the point with this, as this might kind of be a long video. If you guys are currently subbed for guide videos and you know, just in general Marvel Rivals, but more in particular guide videos, I'm just here to tell you that the last one that I made, the Spider-Man guide, which I think is around 70,000 views now, that will be my final guide video. I'm just burnt out from making them. It takes a lot of time. I'm not having fun with it, and that's just gonna be the last one. And
so I basically create Rivals because, first of all, it became so incredibly boring. I play Magic. There's just way too much CC in the game. Supports are insanely broken, like Invis, Gambit, Luna, just insane. Triple support every single game. Poke meta is always meta. I mean, Hela, Phoenix, Hawkeye, Punisher. Those guys are always meta every single season. It just become way worse for me to play the game, and it just became insanely boring. There's no point for me to keep trying to make content out of something I clearly not having fun with anymore. It just feels like it's show. I can't even play Rivals for more than 2 hours on a good day.
Farewell. This will be it for me because I wanted to compete on here, but I don't do the slimy, grimy methods, and then I don't even know if I'm good at the game because the ranks are fake. All of the ranks are fake. So you don't even know if you're good or not.
I think I'd rather shoot myself in Minecraft than play Marvel Rivals for 8 to 9 hours a day. Like, I think I would legitimately have to do that because I cannot be asked. Yo, what's up guys? So this one is going to be a little bit different of a video. It's going to be talking about the future of the channel and where I want to take it. So why am I swapping the direction for my channel? Well, for one, I'm just tired of the player base for this game. It is so miserable. Whenever I'm playing a multiplayer game, I'm going to be playing it competitively. I want to win. I want to be able to get to a high, I mean, I got to a higher rank already, but like, you know, the whole goal is to win, right? When you're playing a competitive game and competitive experience, you want to win. Like, I've complained about support design in this game for what, 7 months that I've been doing content. Nothing has changed. They don't even listen to the feedback and stuff that I, as well as some other people, give to how they should balance the supports in this game. And unfortunately, after a good amount of time, it just gets tiring and you don't really want to talk about it anymore. I was originally going to make an individual video for this, but I would just include it in here because this is probably going to be my final Rivals video for a long time. Whenever you report someone for being toxic or they're throwing the game, the ban system or the restriction system is a joke. Because I would report somebody, I would get the mail, oh, someone is being, or this said person is being restricted from matchmaking. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I click on their profile and there's a match literally 5 minutes ago. And it's like, and they've been playing the entire day. And I'm like, they're not even restricted from matchmaking, bro. There are so many different things in this game that I would change to make it a better game overall, just competitively. But it's clear that they are kind of still struggling with where they want to balance towards. Do they want to balance towards casuals or competitive players? And right now it's a weird in-between where it's like there's so many good casual and competitive things, but their balance doesn't make really any sense. I mean, there's only so much I can take of this game when you know, at the start of the season I expressed it in a video, but like when they finally release a balanced support in this game, people didn't want it on their team. And they would quite literally, like, I had more people banning my White Fox on my own team than the other team target banning the character. Like, that was low-key the problem. And the one character I actually really was hyped for on release was that character. That experience alone turned me off so much, this player base. It's insane. Because they talk all this shit about why supports are broken, why support is this. And when a support comes out that isn't all of that, they don't fucking want it on their team. It's like this player base doesn't understand what they want. Do they want a balanced support or do they want a broken one? If a broken one comes out with a sustain ultimate, they're like, oh wow, another one. But then if one comes out that doesn't have that, oh, the support it's trash. The candle it's been dwindling, okay? The fire for this game that I've had has been dwindling very, very fast. And you guys are the ones keeping it alive. But eventually it's getting to the point now where I don't want that fire to go completely out. I provided a bunch of feedback and stuff for how they could improve support, improve this, improve that. But in reality, it kind of just gets tiring when you know for a fact that they're not going to listen. And I'm just throwing in the towel. Like, I did my part trying to help out this player base, trying to help out the game. And, you know, it just kind of doesn't feel like I'm getting heard at all, or just heard at all in general. And so, like, when I, you know, come back from grad school after a long day of studying, doing projects, presentations, and tests, I want to come back to gaming and have a fun time and, like, de-stress. And unfortunately, Rivals is just not that game for me anymore. I can still play casually, like, with viewers and stuff. That's fun. But as far as grinding comp, posting content and stuff like that, I don't want to do it anymore. To kind of wrap up this video, I do want to give you guys a big thanks for all of the support through the 7 months I've been doing Rivals content for. It has been a blast getting a chance to know you guys and talk to you guys down in the comments or just in my Discord, but I think it is time for me to move on. If you guys are there for the move, then, you know, I will see you guys there. If not, I completely understand, and I wish you guys the best. But with that being said, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Oh boy. So this is a video I'm not super excited about making because I'm quitting Marvel Rivals. Yeah, we're gonna need a drink for this one. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So why am I quitting Marvel Rivals? A game that I arguably love. In fact, I would use the L word. I do love Marvel Rivals. At least I used to. Season 0, Season 1, magnifique Marvel Rivals, you know? And the reason I'm quitting Marvel Rivals is because they keep nerfing my one-trick Elsa. Healers have a pause button built into their basic abilities. They have global pause buttons built into their ultimates, but I can't have a hero that's allowed to challenge the healers. So I'm out. Fuck that, you know? But I think another question we should be looking at, right? A deeper dive into why I'm out is a real reason we're here, right? How did we get here, more or less, is the question. Who are the healers, the DPS, and the tanks that created this picture of today that is now reality? The day that I quit. To be fair, I quit a few days ago. I haven't logged into Marvel Rivals this week. And I'm not logging in, even though today is the first day of Season 7.5. But let's take a look. So, let's talk about how I even decided to play Marvel Rivals, right? I started out, you know, playing video games just like everybody else. Rivals was not my first video game, but it was my first hero shooter. I started out with Street Fighter, Killer Instinct, you know? Games where you had to have skill. If you didn't have skill, you simply didn't fucking win. You lost. You won all the way up until you hit your skill level, and then you got stuck in that bracket until you got better, because everybody else in that bracket were at your skill level. And when you lost a fight in a fighting game, it's because that person had better buttons than you, because they understood the matchup better. Maybe you need to work on your reaction time. Maybe you need to work on your combos. Maybe you dropped the combo. Maybe it's your spacing. There's so many things that go into it. Maybe you did the wrong combo, right? There's times where you should do less damage in a fighting game and worry more about the positioning of that fight, where you leave them. Did you push them into the corner? Did you let them out of the corner? Did you do less damage so that you could save your meter, your power meter, to do a different combo the next time that would finish the round? There's strategy and so much that goes into a fighting game that if you aren't playing a fighting game at least an intermediate level, you just don't realize. I went from that to StarCraft. Man, StarCraft, oh man. Brood War was a jam, baby. And then, of course, StarCraft 2. Fucking amazing, you know? Protoss, baby. Brotoss! You know what I'm saying? Where's my Brotosses out there? Where's my motherfucking Brotosses out there? Who's got the mothership? Who's got the mothership, huh? Huh? Who's running the carriers? What's good? You know what I mean? Brotoss, baby. Unless you bring me you know, Kerrigan. You bring me Kerrigan or you know.
Fate cannot be changed. The end comes. And when it finds me, I shall embrace it at last.
Ghost Girl, and you know, you might be able to persuade me to join your side, at least temporarily. Nova. Yeah, Nova. This is not necessarily completely in order of the games that I played, but after that I played a lot of Call of Duty. I played that professionally, you know, and really fucking enjoyed it, doing tournaments and stuff. It was cool. It was the best time in video gaming history, where if someone didn't call me the N word during my play session, I knew I just simply wasn't locked in enough. Okay. True though. Actually kind of true. If somebody hadn't fucked my mom at least 12 times that day, then I wasn't locked in enough. So I knew that if somebody wasn't fucking my mom, then I wasn't playing up to my standards. Absolutely. And if everybody was running trains with my mom, then I was a beast that day. That's how you knew if you were doing good or not. So, you know, we'll see. Oh man, I can hear the Xbox headset over my ears right now, man. It's fucking amazing. Best time in gaming history. I feel sorry for everybody picking up a controller who didn't get to play in like 2010 or, you know, 2008 and shit. Damn, you guys missed out on real gaming. Fuck. You can't even say a bitch in Marvel Rivals. And over here, everybody's fucking your mom. Goddamn. Video games are good, bro. Video games are good. GoldenEye. Um, but yeah, the thing is, I play what I enjoy playing, and not just for views, not just for the stream, right? After Call of Duty, I played League of Legends, and I played that and streamed that, you know. Challenger, you know, climbing to the top of the ranks in that game. It was really fun. Um, Really frustrating when someone who plays a competitive game says it's fun. They mean that when they're winning and when they're seeing success, they're having a good time. They don't mean that it's fucking fun. The road that you take to be at the top is fucking horrible. It's horrible. But yeah, all in all, it was an experience that shaped a lot of the types of games that I would enjoy going forward. And you know, I like single player games like RPGs. You know, I used to like the Final Fantasy series, and then they got pussified and woke. And now more recently, the Final Fantasy they released, which is medieval, got the cool dude wearing the black outfit, and his homeboy, some actual real men in games. That boy band Final Fantasy, get that shit the fuck out of here. Anyways, Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, Xenosaga, right? You know, what is the one that comes after? Is Xeno? Is it? It's not Xenosaga, and then Xenogears. No, Xenogears, then Xenosaga. Oh man, Xeno! Just saying the word Xenosaga with Cosmos and Telos. Man, first off, they can get it 100%. Those my kind of bots, okay? You might say they're attack bots or war bots, but if they were my bots, they'd be a different kind of bots, and that type of a bot starts with an S, and it only has 3 letters. figure it out. Anyways, so those are the type of games I like in my own time. Warhammer strategy game. Oh man, not even death can stop me. Fucking love it. Some manly shit. Love it. So in my private time, I do enjoy quite a few single player games. But as far as playing online, man, I like to be competitive. In fact, to this day, my favorite competitive game was Lineage 2. And if you don't know, you don't know. But if you do know, then you know. I'll tell you a quick story about Lineage 2. I was about to get Final Fantasy like 11, I believe it was at the time. The online Final Fantasy. Me and my boy went to the store to get Final Fantasy 11. And had to cash in pocket, baby. Cash in pocket. Walked through the doors of was it EB Games at the time? It might have been EB Games. Walked through the door. It might have been GameStop too. It was one of the two. Walked through the door, cash in hand. Take me to the motherfucking Final Fantasy, baby. I'm about to be the motherfucking black mage, red mage, all sorts of super mage up in this bitch. Just so you know. Have the Moogle take me to the aisle that has the Final Fantasy. And on the way to that aisle that had the Final Fantasy was this life-size poster of the hottest fucking dark elf I had ever seen. Holy shit. The boobies were out here. The waist was tiny in here. The ass was just the right size of ass and toned to the bone, baby. And she had a perfect shade of gray skin, elf ears, and white hair. I said, who's that bitch? I need to know who that is. I said, hey, man, what's that? I said, that's a dark elf, man. He said, yeah, she's hot. I said, yeah. I said, let me check out this game real fast. I picked up one of the boxes from the display case, turned it around, saw it was also an MMO, just like Final Fantasy. Yeah, loosely speaking, it's an MMO. I said, bro, we gotta. And so that night, instead of Final Fantasy, we left with 2 copies of Lineage 2. Oh man, installing it, playing it. That's a whole nother YouTube video in itself, man. But that was a great competitive game. The best competitive game to this day is Lineage 2. I stand on business. Stand on business, man. For a lot of reasons. But anyways, after that is when I ended up some time after that, ended up playing competitively Call of Duty and stuff like that until Call of Duty got shitty and woke as well. That's also a different video. So the last game I played competitively before Rivals was StarCraft and League. I went from StarCraft over to League of Legends. And they're a woke company. Everybody knows that. Also another video for another time. I played it. It was all right. It was, I think it was a good game at the time. And they just ended up dumbing down too many things. And yeah, man, I was a top ranked Master Yi over there. And they didn't like Master Yi. So they took away the Ruin Stones, which was a complex way of shaping how your individual champion over there in that game plays, and they dumbed it down like super stupid dumb, so that it's just easier for people and a lot less customizing that you could do to your individual champion so that you could have a unique play style. And they promised that Master Yi players would be able to retain all the best parts of Master Yi, which is his attack speed and some other things that you could build from the ruins. And even though they said that, is in video, saying it for the world to see, they never did it. And so I quit that game. And I quit streaming that game. Yeah. It was just it was a sad time then too, man. A sad time then too. But years later, not like 2 or 3, but like 5, 6 years later, bro, after I quit, I guess. Something like that. At least so it felt like. That's when Rivals came out, man. I didn't catch wind of Rivals like everybody else did, right? Well, not everybody else. I guess I caught wind of Rivals just like everybody else. I didn't hear about it, that it was going to be like early release and beta and alphas and all that shit. Kind of like Marvel Token is doing right now. I caught wind of Marvel Token. I'm fully aware of Marvel's Token's presence well before it comes out. I didn't know about Rival until like 2 weeks before it came out. And man, season 0 drop, baby. I was there. You're telling me my motherfucking favorite Marvel heroes are gonna be there? Do you guys have Wolverine? That's what I want to know. You guys got Wolverine? You guys got Wolverine? They got Wolverine. I'm showing up. You guys got Punisher? You guys got Punisher? I got the Punisher shirt and shit, you know? Punisher. I go to conventions as Punisher and Wolverine. They were both there. I'm signing up. I'm gonna at least see what the fuck's going on. Holy shit. So Rival comes on the scene with a style never before seen, and people who wouldn't have given a fuck about it were actually interested, right? Like nobody cares about the Marvel name. It wasn't that, right? It was the heroes, and yes, some of the familiarity with them that comes from the Marvel name, obviously. But the heroes look great, right? And they had you feeling like a hero, right? Like not only do they look great, like comic book accurate, even better, even sexier in some situations, but they had just like the slightest touch of anime to the style. It was just magnifique, right? And it had people coming to check it out and learning. Like it had your girlfriend talking about peels, bro. You know, she didn't know what the fuck a peel was before Marvel Rivals. Day one, your girl didn't know what a peel was. Day one, she thought it was a banana. You're like, hey babe, when Panther jumps on you, you need to ask for pills. She's like, pills? They have a banana hero in the game? I didn't know they had a banana hero. She's like, no. Heals is when the enemy jumps on you and the team turns around to get them off of you so that they don't lose their healer. Cause, well, you know, your girlfriend is a healer. You already know that. Don't play. Right? Okay? Probably a cloak and dagger or something too. I'm not gonna say she's that dirty, but probably. Had your girlfriend talking about pills, learning things, had players around the world learning things, learning terms, learning awareness and things in combat and things about team dynamics that they had never known before. Rivals did that. And I was there for it day one. It was great. Day one, my plans were Penny, Punisher, Psylocke. Penny, she was cute. You know, Penny sets in her own little way, right? Got the tight abs and everything. Penny can get it. I like Penny. And I liked her playstyle too, being able to hunker down, right? And like just control a little area with the help of your team and the webs and all that cool stuff. You could stop a Scarlet Witch ult with just a web. It was cool, you know? Getting good at Penny, even to this day, is great. Punisher, I already told you, man. Punisher's me IRL, man. Put the vest on, you know, grab the guns, load up, take care of business. Bad guys don't get second chances. Out of here. And Psylocke, the hottest ninja around outside of anime, obviously. Anime got some hot ninjas and some ninjas and you can't be showing in public, in fact. But the hottest ninja in Marvel also was here day one. I loved Psylocke in Marvel versus Capcom. Capcom? Oh boy, got me thinking of saying things. Marvel versus Capcom. OM. Love Psylocke over there. Smoking, man. And she was over here. They hit you with the shit default skin made by some shit artist on like Instagram or something, right? Worst collaboration I've ever seen. But then they put the one everybody wanted, and they called it Vengeance skin. Vengeance? Who better than Vengeance than yours truly? Hmm? And that was her OG skin from the comics. You had to pay for that one. Instantly sold that one to me. The first of many Gunnar type skins that they would release, and the first of many that I would buy across all of my accounts. Despite the triple P's, right? Despite the triple P's, Penny, Punisher, Psylocke that I intended to play, they ended up nerfing the hell out of Psylocke because she threatened healers. And Punisher, very strong, but they didn't like Penny. Penny's been nerf buffed since her release. And right around the time where I was starting to, be like, well, I'm not sure who I'm going to main, because I did like Punisher, but I could see the complexity of other heroes that I also liked, but I just didn't like that hero. And I was almost a little jealous, almost feeling a little left out in my hero choices because I'm a one trick by nature. If I like something, I like something. I really become a master of that thing. But with them hating Psylocke, I was like, well, I guess learning Psylocke to a master level probably isn't the best move because they're actively doing everything they can to shut her down. So before I had time to invest deeply into Psylocke, NetEase already decided that they didn't like Psylocke. So I'm over here going, what am I going to do? Who am I going to play? I don't really have a hero for me in Marvel Rivals. Unfortunate. But then these motherfuckers, well, they did two things. They dropped the White Queen trailer. And the moment I saw her in her Ets Revolution skin, I was locked up again, baby. Let's fucking go. I was like, I can do this. I was like, if I have to tank for my team or want to tank for my team, give me the big boobied white girl, the big booby snow bunny, the big booby white queen, my white princess in this bitch. Bring her over. Send her straight to the chambers. I'm gonna lock her up and we're gonna get this thing on the road, But if I want a DPS, I really want to go over there and fuck people up. I don't have a hero for that. So I played White Queen for a season, got good at her, as you would expect, and enjoyed it. I really did. But I still longed for that hero with mobility, the hero with lethality, the hero that if you played your cards right, did things right, you get immediate results. And only a DPS can do that in Rivals, right? So just when I was starting to really worry about who I was going to play and main for that role, they released the Blade trailer. Bruh. The Blade trailer, baby. When the Blade trailer came out, oh my goodness. You don't understand that. What kind of a man could get me to take my eyes off of Psylocke? Just think about that for a moment, okay? Just think about that. Blade. He's the coolest hero in Marvel Comics. He's the coolest hero in Marvel cinema. Even like, I don't know, 30, 40 years later or whatever the fuck, right? Cooler by miles than John Wick, even though that's not Marvel. I know people like John Wick. Blade is the #1 coolest hero in all of movie history and cinema. And I was about to get him right here, right now. Blade. Now, me and Blade, we differ on the ethics. I am pro vampire. He doesn't seem to be so. But on attitude and badassery alone, I'm down with that. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? So even to this day, Blade was the most anticipated release in Marvel history, even to this day, right? And they botched it. Bro, I was gonna day one Blade. That was my hero. Oh my fucking goodness. But they botched it, as they do with every single black hero in Marvel Rivals. They're all mid or bad. All of them. Why? That's a discussion for another video. But his damage, shit. His durability, shit. His lethality, non-existent. Day one, he had a little thing where he could like switch modes real fast and like he could dash and then switch into blade form and like, do a little extra damage. They patched that shit out fucking like by the third day, maybe the second day. I don't know if it even made it past the test phase. Immediately took away the cool thing that he could kind of do to sneak in a little extra damage. Blade was the third or fourth worst DPS in all of Marvel Rivals. And, by extension, the third or fourth worst hero in all of Marvel Rivals, because pay attention, all of the worst heroes in Marvel Rivals are DPS, duelists. All of them. All of them. I will say it one more time, but I think you're not that dumb that I need to say it again. But I'm going to do it anyway. All of them are duelists. All the worst heroes in the game are duelists. So what did I do? I decided to one-trick them and become the best at it anyways. So that's what I did. I became one of the best, probably the best Blade in Marvel Rivals. Top 100 and everything, right? Play them at the highest levels. Fucking amazing. And that's a lot harder than it sounds. If you're over there struggling in gold, then you can imagine me playing a D tier hero, what that must feel like, and how good I actually have to be at Marvel Rivals to do that. But that also meant months and months of being the best at a hero that was one of the worst in Rivals. Like just think about it, right? How good you have to be at anything, especially in Rivals, to take something that's trash and then make it look like gold. That's what I did. My opponents were asking for Blade nerfs. What? Think about that. Nerf Blade after you run into my Blade? People will convince. You got to nerf this hero. This hero is horrible. For me, for us. Get this hero out of target bans on Blade? Are you serious? Yeah. That's how good I got at Blade. So I got to ride that gravy train for a while. And by gravy train, I mean aspired moldy gravy. So after 6 or 7 months or whatever, right? We finally get Gambit, Rogue, DP, and Elsa, right? So I was excited about this. When they did the Gambit Rogue thing, I was excited because Gambit, clearly overpowered. An overpowered hero was fucking new, right? But it wasn't just that he was an overpowered hero. No. That you have to survive and do well in leading up to the ult, or you're just gonna lose. When do you dash? When do you not dash? When do you just eat the damage instead of dashing? What card do you use? Your enemy Groot just ulted your team. Do you have cards available to cleanse that? You have cards available. Did your dumbass remember to cleanse that? Like, there's a whole thing around Gambit that he has everything that you would ever need to be successful if you are indeed a good player. And I like that. It put the power back into my hands or whoever hands are playing him to be a good player. Better Gambit wins. Abso-fucking-lutely. And I like that. He wasn't just OP. You had to learn how to play him. And that's something I respect. Even to this day, even though he's still stronger than most other healers. He's stronger than every other healer except for one, and that one other healer we'll talk about later, and he's tied with that hero. But yeah. Actually, he's not as strong as that hero because he's harder to play. But at his match strength, probably stronger, I would argue. You know, they're definitely same power level in some aspects. But I was excited about this, right? Because it looked like Rivals was moving in a more complex direction, and I loved it, right? The thing that Rivals was striving to teach us and show us is that if you, as the community, can learn to play harder heroes, we will reward you with more power. Right after Gambit, they released Rogue. Hardest tank in Rivals, full stop. But she also can one combo your support, steal enemies' abilities, and do so many things that no other Vanguard and Rivals, Vanguard aka tank, can do. I love that too. She's so difficult, in fact, that she's even to this day very niche, but very good in the hands of a specialist. I like that. When you start talking specialist, you start talking my language. As long as the payoff is big at the end of the adventure, at the end of the training process, then I'm there. I'm locked in. Teach me, show me. I want to learn. I'll become the specialist if it's rewarding. But you guys know I'm a DPS main. So even though I grandmastered both of those just for fun, I still needed a DPS, man. I still needed a DPS that I could love, that I could like. And they had just a thing for me. The next season, what was it? Was it season 6? Season 6. They had just a thing for me. Deadpool. Except for that wasn't for me, because I fucking hate Deadpool. Yeah. His crude humor, his lack of style, his lack of smoothness, coolness, or anythingness other than crudeness just ain't me, you know. I don't like Deadpool. And I also didn't really give a fuck about his playstyle. The thing that bothered me most is that he had dual katanas and dual pistols and was literally a better Blade than Blade. Was a little bit annoying to watch. Didn't like that so much, but it's true. Deadpool is a better Blade than Blade, even to this day. Sucks, but yeah. Now, I wouldn't want Blade to have Deadpool's kit because it looks retarded, but that's another video for another time. The point is that Deadpool uses his swords better than Blade. Blade is a gun hero, despite being called Blade. So even with season 6, season 5 was cool. They didn't release any DPSs, so I couldn't be mad about it. But even in season 6, when they did release Deadpool, who was also one of the more anticipated heroes, they released him as 3 different roles. He could be a healer, he could be a tank, or he could be a DPS. I didn't like any of those. It just wasn't for me. So yet again, I'm sitting here, still one trick and Blade after all this time. Worst hero in the game, one of them, right? Top 4 shittiest heroes in the game. I believe Blade even had the lowest pick rate in the game. I think him and Widow were fighting for lowest pick rate. And mind you, Rivals has like 40 heroes. So for no one to want to play you specifically, there's some shit going on. Imagine we're on a team, right? We're in a team. and captains come around, and then there's only 40 of us, and every week they come around and they pick 12 of us to play a game, right? And then a year goes by and you've only played in 2 games. Wouldn't you kind of wonder what's wrong with you? Why do all the captains want everyone but you? Huh? What? 100 games can be played and you're only going to be in like 2 of them? Bruh. And even in those games, halfway through the games, you get substituted out for someone else. That's what Blade's pick rate looks like and looked like. So that's the hero I'm one tricking to give you a real mental picture. I'm trying to make you guys feel what it's like to play something that just isn't good, but you make it look good. But the whole time you're making it look good, you want it to be actually good. That's the kind of pain I went through for a game that I love to some degree, right? I think love is not a bad word for it, because when you spend hundreds of hours in something that you so-called enjoy, that's a form of love, right? You probably love your car and you don't spend a tenth of as much time washing it or caring for it. Okay? So think about that. So, fucking Deadpool, not excited about it. Also heard about Elsa Bloodstone. Fuck that bitch, not excited about it. Don't really know who Elsa is. I looked her up and then I was immediately angered because I saw that she's supposed to be a blonde hair, blue-eyed, bad sloot who looks like Lara Croft. But they had her looking stupid, like some kind of Renaissance pirate with red hair. Oh, fuck, Rivals. Don't do this to me. Don't be a woke joke. Who is this bitch? I don't have anything to look forward to. Season 6 is going to be a fucking wash. Fucking wash. Damn, dog. I'm never going to get Blade buffs. And I'm never going to get a different DPS I like. Fuck. Real quick, let me detour, because I am taking you on a bit of a pain trip. To say that Blade never got buffs would be a lie. Almost. How many of you remember when we got that fucking dev diary bullshit? It was like for season like 4 or something. They were like, yo, we're going to be giving Blade buffs. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, because he doesn't do any damage. When he uses his sword, he insta-dies. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. Blade buffs. Let me see the patch notes. I can't wait. Patch notes are dropping later this week. We're going to be doing it, baby. We're going to be doing it. And so the dev diary came out. They talked about it, said Blade buffs. They didn't say what buffs. They just said Blade, arrow up. Okay. I'm locked in, baby. Later today, around 2:30 p.m., that's when it's going to drop. I already know. So I go and I scroll through it. I see like some names on it. I don't know. Scarlet Witch was there. And that might have been the season where they just gave her fucking, they just buffed her ult to do 9,999 damage. What? Huh? Even on the very edge of the ult, 9,999 damage? What? But fuck it. Where's Blade? Where's Blade? Where's Blade? Let me find Blade. Let me find Blade. Fuck it. Blade. Okay. This season, the Daywalker gets a bit more bite to his edge. We're going to be giving Blade 1 damage per swing. You gave my primary attack 1 damage? 1? Are you fucking serious? 1 damage? Guys, I'm not fucking exaggerating here. If you've been here through Marvel Rivals history, if you're a Blade player, then you already know this is true. These motherfuckers, these retards, these idiots, these trolling low IQ bastards over at NetEase gave Blade one damage. Huh? That was the end of the buffs. That was the Arrow Blade up buffs this season. 1 damage. Been through it with this game, man. I've been through it. So anyways, after being through bullshit like that, I finally got season 6.5 coming. And I wasn't interested. I wanted Elsa Bloodstone to look like her cute sexy self, and she looked like the Renaissance pirate I was talking about. Also, not super familiar with her, and she's just gonna shoot guns or something. I don't know, man. I don't know. But then the third week of season 6 rolls around, and they start dropping the Elsa information. Turns out that baddie, that hottie McHots, super sexy look from the comics is going to be there. And 85% of it is full glory. She's not supposed to have an undershirt. It's just a blue high shirt and lots of booby cleavage. But they gave her like a sports bra under that for fucking whatever reason. I already knew that Marvel Rival modders were going to have my back if I bought that skin. And they did. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. If you've been by my stream and you've seen my Elsa Bloodstone skin that I run, I have many variations of that skin that I don't show in stream. Yes. Yes. That was a skin for me. So I already knew that they did have the iconic look from the comics as she is supposed to look and not this made up shit that they have on the default skin. So, okay. They just put the iconic look as a pay to win skin because money. They didn't want to give you the best skin for free. So you got the shit skin for free and the fun Gunner skin you had to buy. I was like, I see what you did here. You did the same thing with Psylocke. You gave us a even worse skin for Psylocke. And then you gave us a more busty, more bootyful Psylocke in the skin. Same thing here with Elsa, right? I was like, okay, I get it. I see what we're doing here. As long as it's available so that I can have that look, that's all I fucking care about. And it was there. So they had me with that. I was like, okay, so what does she do? Well, turns out she does a lot less damage than Punisher, a lot less damage than Moon Knight. And she can't kill as quick as Black Panther. But it also turns out that she has a rewarding factor to playing her, right? She's the most complex DPS to come out. And the reward mechanic, which is huge with me, right? I like to be rewarded for the good things that I do. It also had a punish mechanic to balance that out. Okay, tell me more. I'm interested. So basically, the sales pitch is, well, she's strong as fuck at her best. And she's cat water at her worst. So a little bit cat water in the middle too. So, but at her best, she's strong as fuck. When you get 3 stacks, you are ice skating on enemies if you are him. Right? So I'm like, okay. I'm not even worried about the downsides. Fuck the downsides. Not worried about it. Fuck the downsides. Sign me up because I'm amazing at anything I do. Sign me the fuck up. All I care about is how strong is she at her best. And they're like, well, she's strong as fuck at her best. I'm like, that's all I need to hear. All I need to hear. She looks fun. She feels good. The kit feels right when she dropped, right? I watched the play test of her and stuff, and her movement was good. Her movement was good. She can't flank. She ain't built for all that shit. But within the contest of fighting within her space with her team, very good movement. Loved it. Loved what I saw at least, but I still need to pick her up and play her. So that's what I did, right? She drops day one. I hop in a little practice range with her. Oh man, she's everything I thought she was going to be. The theoretical damage that she can put onto a single target is unheard of. Sweet, sweet, very good theoretical damage. The only one who comes close to single target theoretical damage is Punisher. Now, if you're talking about AoE damage, then no. Punisher, Moon Knight, quite a few others do better AoE damage. But as far as single target damage, intentional damage, as long as you're mid or close range with her, yeah, it's up there. It's good. It's good. It's very good. So I said, okay, all right. I think this is it, boys. I think this is it. I think we finally got ourselves a new DPS. As long as I learn her, get good at her, master the craft like I did with Blade, I should be unstoppable. I should be amazing on the battlefield. Yeah, let's do this. Let's learn this. 2 days in, they fucking already nerfed her. They nerfed her ult. Okay. They reduced the HP of her ult and the duration without even letting it go half the season to see if it's okay. And nope, it was fine. Now, there might be some debate as to if it was fine because, to be fair, it was strong, right? It's an ult that can challenge healing ults. It's an ult that can actually take out Cloak and Dagger. It's an ult that can actually take out Invis or people who are protected by Invis's ult. That's amazing because those ult make people invincible. That was huge. So fucking huge, right? And basically you could lock a team up for about 12 seconds and the ult had 500 HP. They reduced it to 400 HP in like 7 seconds. Like they hit it hard before even seeing if it was broken. And it wasn't broken, but it was very strong. Something like that should be in Marvel Rivals. It's fun, it's a little bit silly, and it's counterable as well. You just shoot the ult, and then it can't do what it's supposed to do. You hear her ult, you shoot the ult. And if she gets you guys cleverly with the ult, then you got to rescue your teammates or they're in trouble. It's fine. Right? But that's not where they stopped with it, man. That's not where they stopped with it. Like I could have lived with that and just kept it pushing. Whatever, man. I didn't like it, but okay. You know? The problem is that every time, literally every time, and I'm not saying this is an exaggeration because that's not the kind of man I am. Literally every time NetEase opened their mouth about Marvel Rivals, it also came with a nerf to Elsa. Bitch, she just came out like 2 weeks ago. Leave her the fuck alone. Are you serious? So the next thing, right? The next thing was a nerf to her survivability. They nerfed how much overshield she gets from her movement. What? What? Why are we doing that? Leave her alone. Then the next thing was to nerf her HP. Change her from a 275 hero to a 250. What? I believe most healers are 275. Necros the other day, or today, I believe, was saying that there's more 275 healers than there are 275 DPS. Maybe that's true, but I can definitely tell you the ratio is true. She's a close range, mid range hero. So 275 is fine. Her getting shields on dashes, that's fine too. Help with her survivability when she's like, getting into brawly, close rangey type distances. Okay, that's fine. She's strong at her best and Catwater at her worst. That's supposed to be the trade-off, the thing that balances her, is that she could be worthless if you're not good with her and amazing if you are. That's the whole fucking point. They didn't stop there. Then there was a nerf to her leveling up mechanic. So she would lose pretty much everything when she died. So she has 3 bars. They fill up as you get kills or assists. Every time you go down, you lose 1. They change it so that you lose 2. So if you go down twice, you have no stacks. And if you go down 1 time, you're literally right back where you started. Just 1 stack. You're crap with 1 stack. And with 2 stacks, you're not very good. At 3 stacks, you're strong. Strong as fuck. So you lose 2 stacks to go down to being crap just from going down once? Bro, that's so stupid. All the things that can take you out, you can get solo ulted. You're only a 275 HP hero, right? So anything can like hit you and just kind of take you out. You get shot by fucking stray Hawkeye fucking arrow. You can get shot by Mantis boosted fucking Black Widow. You just simply lose a fight. You could go to challenge someone, another DPS on the off angle and just lose a duel. Yeah, that's what happens when you do what you're supposed to do. Sometimes your challenge of the other DPS just doesn't work out the way you had hoped. Maybe you lose the 1v1. Maybe that 1v1 becomes a 2v1. All sorts of things can happen. And then what? You're back to the start just because you did the right thing? Nah, bro. Nah. Her losing 1 bar or going down 1 time made sense and felt fair. If your team is struggling, you're not going to get bars very quickly, but you're going to lose them very quickly. Even at 1 bar, if your team is struggling, you're not going to be getting bars very often. And you're at much more of a risk of losing the 1 bar that you just got because your team's getting their ass kicked. There's so many scenarios where it's hard to be Elsa as is without just robbing her blindly. And that's what they did. So they nerfed her level up mechanic. So out of 3 bars, she loses everything, more or less, from going down 1 time. And that's when I started shaking my head. I said, nah, man, NetEase is not looking out for the player base. They're not at all interested in the skill or skill expression that their players have. They nerfed Cap too. They nerfed other heroes who had auto cancels and built into their kits so that they could get an extra attack in here or there. They weren't interested in players maximizing their potential. They just wanted to dumb it down. And following in coordinates with that train of thought, they just wouldn't stop nerfing Elsa. They just wouldn't stop nerfing her until the hero was made unplayable. And I said this in a post after the second nerf, that no one would play Elsa if she didn't have a 2-second dash. It's a little mini dash, right? That's what made her interesting and fun, was a rhythm that she has when you play her, the way you cycle damage, right? Because her primary gun is shit, for the record. She has one of the worst primary hit scan guns in the game. In fact, she has the worst primary hit scan in the game. You can't keep up with anyone's damage by using your primary weapon. No one in the game can't keep up with anyone in the game. Whether they hit scan or melee or projectile, you can't keep up with anyone by just using your primary gun. Okay. that means she has to use her abilities to do damage. And you don't just use your abilities to do damage, you cycle damage. I might talk about that a little later. But what I was saying is that if she didn't have the 2-second dash, which helps her to do damage, then no one will play her because she gets over a shield and a damage burst after a dash. That's how she plays, in case you didn't know. So when you take away her 2-second dash, that hurts her damage, that hurts her survivability, that hurts her ult charge, that hurts everything. Everything. Hurts her overall lethality, everything. I said if they touch that, no one will play her. Like, yeah, what would be the point? So, season 7 rolls around. Season 7, 7.5 rolls around, and they mentioned that that's exactly what they're gonna do. They're nerfing everything. They're nerfing everything that made her interesting and fun. And they didn't just nerf her cooldowns. These fucking retards nerfed everything about Elsa. They nerfed her maximum playability, but when they nerfed her minimum playability too, like, so they nerfed the maximum playability and they nerfed her minimum playability. And basically, when she's at her worst, she's the worst hero in Marvel Rivals now. And right now, when she's at her best, she's C tier at best. You know, she was a B tier to S tier hero, depending on who played her. But now she's a D tier or B tier hero, depending on who plays her. They nerfed her literal damage that comes from her primary and her burst shot, the shot she'll do after a dash. They nerfed her dash. They nerfed her survivability. They nerfed her overshills. They nerfed her ult. They nerfed the duration of her ult, the HP and duration. Literally everything about Elsa Bloodstone. If you could click on any of her abilities, they nerfed that. They extended the cooldowns on shit, right? They took a 2-second dash, right? It started at 8 seconds. They made it so that it starts at 10 seconds now. Why is it even in the game? 8 seconds was fucking horrible. Her little short dash that she used to do, being at 8 seconds felt unplayable. You left spawn at the beginning of a game and you tell your team, don't worry, I'm going to be a real hero soon, right? We just got to get some kills or something. Get this starting to roll. Get this starting to snowball. Get me going. Get me going. She's the only hero in Rivals that does that besides Deadpool. And when he dies, and he dies often, he loses nothing. Elsa starts at 0 after every fucking round, and she loses something every time she goes down. Now she loses everything every time she goes down. And the cooldown on her main dash, right, starts at 8 seconds. And every time you get a stack, it goes down by 2. So you get 1 stack, now it's 6 seconds. Still pretty long. You get 2 stacks, right? Now it goes from 6 seconds to 4 seconds. That's usable. It's usable. It's usable, okay? You can fight some now. You get 3 stacks, it goes from 4 seconds down to 2 seconds. All right. You're actually a threat on the battlefield now. You can actually take 1v1s with heroes. You know, if you get cornered, you might be able to do a 2v1 if your skill is like that. Max stack Elsa is something to be feared. She can challenge the status quo of healers, and that was amazing. So they took that out of the game. They changed it so that it starts at 10, and yeah, she loses 2 seconds for every stack she gets. So max stack Elsa plays only as good as like shit tier Elsa did. So when you had shit tier Elsa, and you're like, oh man, I need to get my stacks up, so I can be match tier Elsa. Your match tier Elsa is now the shit tier Elsa. What? What? To double the length of time on your cooldowns is fucking insane. And they literally doubled the length of time for her dash when it's at her best. Why am I becoming a specialist? Why am I getting so fucking cracked at this hero? Why am I avoiding death and making decisions that sometimes are at the detriment of my team because I can't lose stacks now? I can't even go down one time or else I lose all my stacks. Why am I doing all that? So at the end of the day, I can have max stacks and still be a fucking B tier hero. That doesn't make sense. Every other hero gets to leave spawn at maximum strength. And if one of those heroes happens to be a top tier, top 5 or top 10 hero, every time they leave the spawn, they leave at their best. Elsa doesn't get that luxury. And now when she's at her best, she's worse than them. That has to be one of the dumbest things ever in history of any video game. And so for that reason, I'm out. But let's take a look at the state of the game, right? Because what if everything else was fine with Marvel Rivals and I was just really unlucky with one hero or two heroes, I guess, and this Blade still ain't. I'm not gonna get mad. Let's take a look at the state of the game, right? Start with the biggest problem in the game. Healers. Cloak and Dagger. Healers in general, they put out way too much fucking healing. And I'll do a video talking and addressing that about how to fix Marvel Rivals. But right now we're talking about this. Cloak and Dagger. This bitch, the bitch your girl loves to play because she's the easiest hero in Marvel Rivals. Gets to fucking have a bubble of invincibility as a normal ability.
Holy shit, like my hero is so ass, bro. Like what? What is this hero? Oh my god, bro.
She gets heals that auto target friendlies and auto damages enemies. She doesn't have to aim it. It just flies down and touches somebody. She gets to go intangible so that she can't be attacked and even fly with that shit. What? She gets to blind you so that you can't see what you're doing.
They found my weak spot.
You can't play the game because you're blinded by a fucking healer in the back line. Blinding you in the front and mid line. And she gets to put out some of the most healing in Marvel Rivals, while being the easiest, undisputedly easiest hero in Marvel Rivals. Imagine not having to aim or having to have any semblance of skill, being the most impactful hero on the battlefield. Who? What participation trophy brain would think that's okay? Let's move on, because it doesn't end there. Invis. Invisigirl. Invisible Girl. Sue Storm. Okay.
A character like Invisible Woman shouldn't have a push-pull, a self-shield that heals you and slows the enemy down, a invisibility, a sustain ultimate, an ability that knocks flyers that slows you down on as well. Characters like that are just so power crept and just so broken, and it's just not fair.
Her healing has distance that rivals machine guns or other projectiles in Marvel Rivals, but it pierces through enemies and through allies to heal and damage at a range that just doesn't make sense. How do you have a long range attack that pierces to heal and damage enemies at full strength. How does that make sense? She can go invisible and stay invisible. It's not like she's only invisible for a certain amount of time. She heals herself while she's invisible. She has a shield that she can put down, a personal shield that will heal her. And she can give that personal shield to allies to protect them and heal them. But that's not all. That shield will slow down anyone by about 50% just by being in the vicinity of the shield. So you think you're about to jump in on her or get away from her. She drops the shield on herself and now you can't move. You're like moving in slow motion for no fucking reason. And she's getting healed and you're getting jumped by her team. What? And she's being protected from your attacks because obviously it's a shield. Almost, that shield is so fucking retarded. I almost forgot the main function of it, that it protects her. Like, goes without saying. But all the other stuff is so, what? What? Oh, we're not done yet. Because she's a psychic, she has telekinesis. That's what the shield is, right? She can pull you into her own team and just get you fucked up that way. You could be on high ground, shooting down from a distance, safe, so you thought, and she just pulls you into her team. You could be a diver who jumped in, she dropped a shield on herself, became pseudo-invincible, and now you want to leave? You can't, because she just pulls you in. You could be a tank who walked a little bit too far up. She just pulls you in. What? We're not done yet, though. Remember I said she's a telekinetic. So if she can pull you, what else do you think she can do? She can push you. And boy, can she push you. From long range, not medium range, long range. She can just push your ass off the map. For what reason? How does that even make sense? From a long range? Her pulls and pushes should be like 15 meters at most. Right? They made Invisigirl as lore accurate to comic book powers as possible while jipping every other DPS in the game. Not cool. Oh, we're not done yet. We're not done. Invisible, remember? Invisible? Her ult. Okay, let's talk about her ult. When she ults, it commands this huge circle of space. And inside of it, her team is invincible for all conventional damage. You cannot kill anything in that with conventional damage. Meaning you need like an Iron Man ult or a Scarlet Witch ult to do 9,999 damage to someone so that they die. Okay? You can't kill inside that ult. Oh, I'm not done yet with that ult. There's more. Invisible, remember? If you're not inside the ult, you can't see inside the ult. Everyone, including your own allies, are invisible to you inside the ult. You can't see shit going on in there. Pretty fucked up, right? Oh, we're not done yet. Can you believe this? One fucking hero? And I'm still going? How was that possible? But if you are inside that ult, remember the movement speed where you move half your speed if you're by your shield? Same thing happens. You move half your speed inside that ult. Oh, you're not done yet. You're not inside the ult, you say? You're just kind of close to it on the outside? Half your speed gone. This shit is okay. Everything I just named is okay. But someone getting mechanically cracked at Elsa and being able to run lobbies isn't okay? No? Being able to challenge the status quo because you put time in to become skillful. Skillful enough to challenge the skillless things in Marvel Rivals isn't okay. Okay, let's move on. Invis. Not as bad, but still. Invis is, out of the two that I've named, and I have one more coming, is the least offensive of all three. She's pretty balanced, except for her ice, because she does have to aim her shots. They're hit scan, but she has to aim them to heal her allies. She has to aim to land her shots. And she has a heal that will pierce through allies and hit enemies all in one go, but that's a skill and a cooldown. It's not her primary. Unlike Invis, for instance. Her primary does that. Okay, anyways. We're not talking about Invis anymore. We got through that. It doesn't make sense. It's overpowered and unfair. Cloak and Dagger, overpowered and unfair. Luna, she's not unfair. She's not overpowered too much. Just slightly overpowered. And the reason she's slightly overpowered is because she became more or less balanced, right? In the neutral. And they couldn't have a healer being balanced in neutral, right? So they sought to fix the error of their ways by daring to have a fair to play against hero in neutral. And they made her ice that freezes you for like 4 or 5 seconds unreactable. See, you used to be able to see her be like, and like, you know, you could maybe dodge it, or if you had a shield, maybe you could block it if you were cracked, right? If you weren't cracked, you'd still get hit by it. Now, even if you're cracked, you get hit by it because you can't react to it at all. Ping aside, I don't think it's reactable. Yeah, it's not reactable, ping aside. And unping, you can fucking forget about it. You know? It comes out so fast. The animation to cast it super fast. I'm less upset about the projectile speed as I am the animation to cast it being sped up. Because it's this right here, right? As the hands are moving, she like, is that right there that you react to. It's not the projectile already being in the air coming to you. It's the that you react to. They sped that up so that it's unreactable and increased the projectile speed. So there's no hope of reacting to it if she wants to hit you with it. That's stupid. So now you got to be frozen and vulnerable for 5 fucking seconds to something that you literally had no control over, literally can't outplay. Like, come on now, man. Her ult also is a sphere of invincibility. Cloak has the invincibility ult where you can't kill anybody in her ult. Real quick, let's talk about the Cloak and Dagger ult. She just kind of ice skates out, right? And wherever she goes, 4 long dashes, she leaves behind a trail of healing, invincibility healing, right? Everyone inside, just like the invisible girl ult, becomes invincible. So everyone within the line that she creates as she like dashes out, dash, 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 wherever she wants to go. If the trail that she leaves behind, you're invincible in. But that's not all. We're talking about Cloak and Dagger again real fast. It also damages you to stand in it. And it stays there for what, like 12 fucking seconds? 12 seconds of that bullshit? Most DPS ults happen and are over in a couple seconds. 12 seconds? Invis's fucking circle of retardedness is what, 8 seconds? Both of those are too long. Now I address that. And Luna, I believe, is also 8 seconds now, 8 or 10 seconds of her. What she gets is the same circle, same healing circle that Invis gets, right? But is obviously like not invisible. But instead of Invis where it's placed in the ground, this circle of healing radiates from in a radius around Luna herself as she like moves around, you know, putting on a literal concert. Right? Concert of healing. And everybody within this circle around her can't be killed because of the healing. So you're invincible while around Luna. You're invincible inside of Invis's ultimate circle, and you're invincible in Cloak and Dagger's healing circle as well. Just gonna call it healing circle. They all have like healing circles basically. So we're not quite done because there's another healer, Gambit. Gambit is the most complex of all of these healers, and that's why I'm okay with them. Because when Gambit ults, everyone gets some healing, but not invincible levels of healing, just high levels of healing. And they get a damage boost. And they get like a cool little super jump. It's deadly. Don't let me fool you into thinking it's not as deadly as some of the other ones I mentioned, because it absolutely is. But because of the reduced healing compared to the other ones, the people fighting can still die while in Gambit ult. Absolutely. And if Gambit goes down while in Gambit ult, everyone loses their ult. So, yeah. Gambit's okay, though. And the reason Gambit's okay is because he takes skill, unlike the other healers I mentioned on the list. By the way, Mantis plays a lot like Luna. She gets a healing circle, and she kind of like moves around, and as long as you're around her, you get Luna and Mantis have the same healing ult for all intents and purposes, okay? So, yeah, that's CND, Invis, Luna, Mantis, all with a circle healing type ult going on. That makes everyone around them invincible. Gambit, he gives everybody a buff, not a healing circle or a healing area. He gives everyone a buff, and they can go off and do their own thing, however they want to fight freely while being healed to a high level, but not an invincible level. And they get a damage boost. So yeah, Gambit is pretty cool. I like his ult. It is strong as fuck because of that reason, but I still like it. You know, anytime you give everyone in your team the ability to go off and do their own thing, you're also setting yourself up to lose. So it's kind of balanced by people making bad decisions and not being forced to stay in a healing circle and fight together. Like in his own way, telling everybody you're stronger now, go do stuff, is his own way to balance the ult. Because they're going to make some dumbass decisions. The stuff you'll see your team do sometimes when you give them the Gambit ult just makes you want to turn off your PC for the day. So, in a way, the Gambit ult is balanced by empowering your team to make decisions rather than forcing them to fight together in a circle. So maybe Gambit ult is low-key balanced just off that alone. Gambit, on the other hand, I like as a hero because of the skill that he takes. He does a lot of healing, sure. He's the best 1v1 healer in a fight. That's also true. But I like him because he has all the tools at his disposal, right? He can cleanse and do a lot of things that other healers can't, but it's all skill-based, right? First off, for instance, he can cleanse a Groot ultimate, which grabs all your team, pulls them into one spot, and makes them unable to move and vulnerable for the duration of the ultimate. He can cleanse that with a normal ability, right? But he has to have the cards available to do it. Does your Gambit, is he paying attention to when Groot is going to have his ult so that he can have the cards available to do that? Does he have the cards available, and does he remember to do that? There's balances to playing Gambit and a sense of awareness that you have to have, or else you're just not going to be a good Gambit. Better Gambit wins, for sure. And I'm okay with that. Now, those are all the problematic healers that are just fucking bad for Marvel Rivals or any other game you could possibly put them in. Cloak and Dagger, Invis, Mantis, Luna, and, Gambit has some issues too with the ult being very strong, but it's the least offensive for sure. Let's talk about two DPSs that are a problem now. We're going to start with the least offensive one, save the one that's the most offensive for last. The least offensive one that is a real issue is Star-Lord. The reason Star-Lord is an issue as a DPS is because he gets iframes and aimbot. So every DPS has to reload, except for the one we're going to talk about after this one. Whenever they, expend projectile energy. Well, there's one. No more doesn't have to. But anyways, we're going to talk about the one that does after this. After they spend projectile energy, they'll have to reload in some way, shape, or form, right? Repower, gather their energy, take a moment, and then they can fire again. Star-Lord gets around this. He can do a traditional reload like everyone else, sure. But he also reloads by tumbling, a dash, if you will, right? To pursue, to evade, to run away, his little dash. Every time he does this quick dash, whoosh, he has full ammunition. What? Dash, full ammunition. You thought you're going to catch him reloading? You can't. You're not catching Star-Lord reloading. And then he has this attack that's an AoE where he just shoots everything in the area for free without aiming. It just shoots everywhere. And if you're just around him, you take damage, which, depending on where your health was from the fight, very well could be lethal. Just for free. If that wasn't bad enough, the real problem with his neutral game is that when he dashes, not only is he dodging an attack, right? But he's also invincible. So if you were a good enough player to hit him while dashing, you don't hit him at all. You hear a sound instead, which means you didn't do shit. That's crazy. That's unbelievably crazy. That he gets to reload his weapon for free. He gets to dodge the attack that was coming at him for free. And if the person was good enough to read that he would dodge and lands the attack, they're not rewarded for it. They're punished for being smart, right? Smart with an H. And they hit an invincible dash. That's so bad. That's the iframes, the invincible frames on the dash need to go. I'm okay with them reloading from the dash or whatever. I'm super cool with that. I'm okay with the AoE shooting attack that hits everybody in the radius without him having to aim. I'm cool with that. What I'm not cool is the invincibility frames he gets from dodging. The dodge is the invincibility frame. You moved out of the way of the attack. Oh, no, you didn't move out of the way of the attack? You dodged into the attack? Well, I guess you get hit now. Unless you're Star-Lord and NetEase, then I guess you don't get hit. You're invincible. Not okay. The other offensive part comes during his ult. I remember when I first started playing Marvel Rivals, me and this Star-Lord were in this room together, and he ulted, and I was Punisher, and I was whooping his ass. I ducked behind some cover. I popped out. I shot him. I ducked behind some cover. I popped out. I shot him. And I was, oh man, he almost had me. I had a sliver of health left, but I was confident in my skill. I popped out. I almost got him, but he got me. And I said, damn, man. I said, that dude had good aim. I'm telling you, I don't meet very many people who can aim anywhere close to my level. I was impressed. I was impressed until I looked at Star-Lord a little closer and found out that Star-Lord, when he ults, doesn't aim. He aimbots. Yeah, you heard me right. He doesn't move his reticle around to aim at anyone. It just locks onto someone while he's all the way up in the sky, beaming them and killing them in about 1.5 seconds, doing about 300 damage in about 1.5 seconds. Yeah. So then I realized how cracked I was to ever duel a Star-Lord like that and win, and how cracked I was to duel that Star-Lord who was also dashing and taking cover and almost get him. I'm unbelievably amazing. Holy fuck. I just thought that guy was good. No, he had a literal aimbot and ultimate damage. I didn't know that at the time. But I found that out like later that night or the next day or something. I was like, damn, I really am good at Marvel Rivals. Holy shit. Him having an aimbot when he ults is a huge problem. You shouldn't be able to have an aimbot ever. I was going to say you shouldn't be able to deal that type of damage and have an aimbot. No, you should never have a lock-on damage to beam somebody. That doesn't make any fucking sense. But that's Marvel Rivals. And the last one, the most offensive aimbotter of all, right? No, not Cloak and Dagger, even though Cloak and Dagger has aimbot. But there's a DPS with aimbot all the time as well. Cloak and Dagger is a healer with aimbot all the time, but there's a DPS version of Cloak and Dagger called Scarlet Witch. And Scarlet Witch is fucking annoying. Scarlet Witch is an aimbot machine. Scarlet Witch, primary, does DPS levels of damage while being an aimbot. She doesn't have to even aim at you, right? Scarlet Witch doesn't put the reticle on you, doesn't put the crosshairs on you. She literally just, like, if you're on her screen, then you're taking damage. Huh? What? How does that make sense? If you're where she can see you, you just take single target damage? Just because she can see you? Huh? Who thought that was a good idea? Huh? And her ult used to be okay, right? She flies out, pure chaos, pure chaos, pure chaos, whatever, right? And then she explodes with energy. And like this energy would like hit everybody in the area or anybody close enough to be hit, right? Close enough to her to be hit. And the closer you were, the more damage you took. If you were like a 250 HP hero, you were donezo. If you're like a tank at full health, you might survive. Shields could block it, things like that. Whatever, it's fine. Not good enough for NetEase. Nah. They made it so that the ult not only slows you, right? Oh, she starts to slow people in a huge area around the ult, maybe like 30 meters or so. You get slowed. That's not enough for NetEase. Pulls you in actively to her so that you could be ulted. If you're trying to run away from her, but you're close enough to be pulled in, then when the ult finishes, you're going to get hit by the explosion. But that's not enough for NetEase. No. For the easiest hero in the game, the easiest DPS in the game, right? Which makes her the second easiest hero in the game because she doesn't have to aim anything. They decided that killing almost everyone wasn't enough. She needed to be able to kill literally everyone. Killing almost everyone is not good enough. She needs to be able to kill everyone. So instead of it having drop off damage towards the end and doing a lot of damage up close, the closer you are to her, the more damage you take. Now, if just one pixel of her ult touches you, you take 9,999 damage. For no reason. It vaporizes anyone, everyone in Marvel Rivals, no matter what type of health they have, from getting tapped by one pixel. There's no ult that does that. And there's no ult that should do that. The easiest DPS in the game, the second easiest hero in all of Rivals, ult just one-shots anyone. That's a huge problem. And to recap, Cloak and Dagger, Invisigirl, Luna Snow, Mantis, Gambit, Star-Lord, and Scarlet Witch all make Rivals lower quality. Off rip, just straight up. And that has a lot to do with why I'm quitting. All that shit we just talked about, all the no skill, free, huge value shit in Marvel Rivals. I become an expert with a hero that can challenge to no skill shit and they want to nerf me to make me unplayable? Nah. The most skillful DPS in Rivals. And if somebody wants to argue that there's one or two other ones that are just as skillful, that's fine. But for the purpose of this video, easily, you could argue that she's the most skillful. Sure, go ahead. The most skillful DPS in Marvel Rivals, with some of the most skill expression of any DPS in Marvel Rivals. They want to nuke and make literally unplayable when they have all this auto aimbot shit that gets a ton of value and a ton of lethality for literally free by players who couldn't even get past the first level in Tetris, by players who couldn't even beat the easy bot in a game of chess, by players who wouldn't be able to get through the first stage of easy AI in a game of StarCraft. They want those players to have a fair shot against me. Fuck no. No. We don't play that. You know, always strike with vengeance. Look at my body. Look at me. Look at me, son. Look at my principles, my morals. Do you think that I believe in any shape or form, in any fiber of these lovely muscles, right? In any fiber of any of me, that not being skillful should be rewarded? And even worse, do you think that there's any fiber of me that believes that hard work, dedication, and expertise should be dumbed down to the level of someone who has no skill at all? Or even in the neighborhood of someone who has no skill? No. Expertise shouldn't be brought from way up here. With the skill this person's here, yeah, bring that all the way down here. And then be like, maybe you can be a little bit better. If maybe you can be a little bit better. This is not even acceptable. You goddamn know this isn't. And for sure not this shit. And that's all Rival wants to do. That's all they want to do. And I'll be real, it hurts, bro. It hurts. So here's the thing. I get excited for the powerful heroes that were complex, right? Because I thought that we were heading in a direction where complex heroes would naturally and sensibly and logically be stronger than one-button heroes, right? See, there's not a world where a hero with 1 star should offer as much value as a hero with 5-star maximum difficulty, right? Everyone should be able to agree on this, you know? Everyone can agree on this if you're one of those people, right? If not, then there's an empty vacuum in space where we can toss you without air. And yes, I mean that literally. And yes, I know it took an extreme turn for some hatred, but I do hate those people. I really hate those people. Why would I have such an extreme reaction to an opinion that opposes mine, right? Well, it's because people who can't think logically genuinely bring down society and make it more dangerous and honestly harder for anybody else. If you or someone who thinks that that a man who puts in the maximum amount of effort on something should be rewarded the same as some guy who puts in little to no effort, then you're the problem. Right? You're the problem. You're the problem in all of society. You're the problem in all countries. You're the problem in all lands, within all borders, within all establishments. If you think that someone who puts in effort to become good at something should be treated the same as somebody who does nothing, then yeah, you're absolutely the problem. And an airless vacuum in space where we should toss your body. Anyways, you're in luck though, because as it turns out, NetEase might actually agree with you and not me. If that's you, I think they're on your side. I really do. And that's where me and NetEase, me and Marvel Rivals, that's where we have a problem, man. Because if I learn a complex hero and it's not rewarded, but if that punished, then I don't want to play that. You know, I don't want to use my real time on a game or anything that I love or that I enjoy if I'm just going to be punished for getting good at something that's hard. So let's talk about it, okay? Talk about Elsa. Patch 1.0, Elsa and release. Not the trash Elsa that you know now. Obviously, Elsa is trash now, right? You shouldn't play her. Anybody playing her is throwing your games. They should just be in something more reliable and that does a lot more damage. More damage, honestly, than Elsa ever did, even in her best. Like Punisher. You see an Elsa in your game, just tell them to hop on Punisher, man. Stop throwing. But patch 1.0 Elsa, she was actually perfect, man. She was strong. Stronger than most other heroes and rivals. Top 5 heroes and rivals for sure, and that's without debate. The cool thing about that, that made her balanced despite being the top 1% of rival heroes, is that unlike the other top 5 or so heroes and rivals, she came with a mechanic that balanced her out for players who were not good with her. You know? She can't just have good aim and shoot like Punisher and get a ton of damage. She can't have mediocre aim and get a ton of damage like Moon Knight. And Squirrel Girl, like, both of those heroes are miles better than Squirrel Girl players. But she also can't just lob nuts at people and get splash damage and have high numbers like Squirrel Girl, right? Exploding nuts. Oh boy. We're not talking about that one. Anyways, that's what OG Elsa made me do, you know what I'm saying? Anyway. The point is that she was balanced because of the mechanic where she would lose 1 stack if she went down. But at match stack, if she was popping off, you're popping off with her and you're a good hero, a good player, then you can carry a game. She could get a maximum of 3 stacks, and that came from kills or assists. But every time she herself went down, she did lose 1, and that balanced it out. So if you weren't a good player, or if your team was just getting thrashed, then it would be hard for you to have an impact on the game as a 0 stack or a 1 stack, or even a 2 stack Elsa, right? Because 2 stack Elsa was only in the middle of the pack and, you know, mid tier at best. Because, you know, she gets her damage from not spamming abilities, definitely not using her primary weapon, but from cycling abilities and primary. It's a rhythm. And you need to be at 3 stacks, so you have your 2-second dash to fill the gap and do a lot of things, right? So Elsa only came to life when she had all her stacks, and that at full stacks, that actually made her a little bit unbalanced. Fair enough, right? But it was rewarding good play, which is what made it the thing that had a balance. Because you left to spawn, there's 12 heroes out there, including yourself. 11 of them were better than you the moment you walk out of spawn. But if you could hang in there and get your levels up, right? Then you were rewarded, and that felt nice. And if you could persevere and get your levels up, get ahead, and manage to stay ahead, then yes, you would outperform your enemy. Sounds fair to me. Feels good too. The only hero in Rivals that actually rewarded you for playing well. Deadpool doesn't really reward you for playing well. You're gonna level up. You can level up quicker or less quick as Deadpool, right? But you'll get your levels. It'll happen sooner or later. Elsa, you could be a 0-stack Elsa the entire match. For sure. But if you're not a 0-stack Elsa and you're out there combating and being good, then you could really feel it. It was tangible. You know? Being the only hero that was really truly rewarded for playing well, that's the thing I really, really liked. I really enjoyed that feeling. If I can be better than everyone else on the battlefield, then I want to feel better than everyone else. Don't treat me the same as those guys if I'm not the same as them. I'm me. Vengeance here, you know what I'm saying? Don't treat Vengeance like that hobo over there. What the fuck's wrong with you? Get that cloak and dagger hobo out of my lobby. I'm Vengeance, baby. But here's the thing about Rivals. Not only is the game system rigged, I can do a video on that if you guys want, by the way. But they want to smooth out all the skill expression and just have dumbass noob shooter rather than an actual hero shooter. And turning Rivals from a hero shooter into a noob shooter by nerfing things like Captain America's animation cancel and some of the other things they do to dumb down heroes, punishing Psylocke, which is already a very finicky flanker to play. She only has 250 HP. Nerfing that and then making Elsa unplayable is just a sign that they really don't want people to be good at Marvel Rivals. They want to control your EoMM experience. They want to decide when you rank up. And that's not okay. So where does that leave us? There's a few conditions that I would come back under, right? Come back on, I should say. I'll come back if they revert the debuffs, the nerfs, or whatever, on the heroes that I like and make them stronger than they were on release. Or maybe even a little overpowered. Having heroes in the game that can defeat the healing, or at least challenge it, is a huge thing, because the healing is fucking out of control, as we already established and looked at. This video does well. What I'll do, right, is I'll put out a video that's probably, you know what? I know it is. It's definitely the only video in the Marvel Rivals community that exposes and addresses EoMM in detail. But I don't feel fucking charitable towards the community, to be honest. So I'm not just going to do it for free. I'm going to have to get some recognition. So, some love. Need you guys to share this video, upvote this video, comment on this video. And if we can hit some decent metrics, then I got you, maybe a couple hundred followers off this video or something. Then yeah, I don't mind exposing the EoMM in detail for you guys, because no one in the community has the information that I have. They just don't. But I'll do that. You get this video some love and recognition for my Elsa, and for me, obviously, right? And that includes exactly what it is, as far as the EoMM goes, exactly how it works, how to know if you're being EoM'd, and how to avoid EoMM. I'll do all that and more. So make sure this video does well. Make sure I get at least a couple hundred followers off of it, and we'll be good. I'll do that for you guys. A video I'm going to put out over the next couple days, maybe within the next week or so, out of the kindness of my dark heart, is a video that explains exactly how to fit and save Marvel Rivals, and will in fact touch every single hero in the game one by one. So that's the video you're going to want to be here for anyways, because most people, they're fucking retarded. I'm a damn genius. So yeah, you're gonna want to hear what I have to say because no one's gonna really, really look into how you would fit Marvel Rivals the way that I can. So come here and hear it first. Because nobody's done this type of video either, to be honest. Now, before I wrap this video up, I said I wouldn't talk a whole lot about EoMM, and I'm not going to talk a whole lot about EoMM because that's a different video. Like I said, I want some recognition. I'm going to be doing that one for you guys. But what I will say about this, the nerfs and the agency that they don't want players to have of their own matches, is that the real reason they do that, the real reason they don't want you to be able to control the outcome of EoMM, if you have a hero that can run lobbies in the best hand, that means that you can become cracked at that hero, that you can easily climb the ranks to a more suitable rank for your skill level. They want you to be the rank that they want you to be at. And sometimes they even put bad players in higher ranks, right? So that they can drop those bad players' ranks at the same rate of someone else who is not a bad player. Let me explain that for you, because I know that can be confusing, right? Let me give you a quick example. Let's say you're in Diamond 3, right? You hop into a Diamond 3 game and there's another guy in Diamond 3 with you, or even Diamond 2, right? And you're way outperforming this guy, and you guys are losing the game because this guy who's your rank or supposedly your rank or higher can't seem to play for shit. He's absolutely horrible. Well, that's because the game has boosted this guy up over the course of that day, or maybe 1 or 2 days, to a rank that he doesn't really belong in, so that now he can purposely be used in your game as the agent. That's how they create the agent. The agent doesn't know they're an agent. They just know that they just had a nice little 6-7 game win streak, and the games weren't too hard, and they went from like platinum 2 to like diamond 3 or diamond 2, and oh man, they're on fire. And then all of a sudden they hit this hard losing streak, and now you, who are about to have your rank up game, loses your rank up game with this guy who can't seem to get it together for some weird reason. And it's because they literally boost bad players up so they can drop the bad players down. And they put those bad players in games with other players that they want to not win a particular game, or even lose a set amount of elo from several games over a course of time. They use those players in your games. Like I said, the agents don't know they're agents. Let me give you a quick example to better illustrate this, right? And also, this will come full circle as to why I like Elsa so much. I had people in my friends list, right, who I know are nowhere close to my skill level, like laughable, the difference between me and them in skill. I've had them pass me in rank as I climb, right? They just shoot past me 3, maybe even 4 divisions, only to within a day or so be at the rank that they were just in before they shot up several divisions, right? So within a day or two, they jump 3 or 4 divisions, and within a day or two, they'll drop all the way back to the rank where I was at when I saw them. They dropped below me, even though they had just passed me by many divisions. And I can remember distinctly thinking, because every time or whenever it happens on whatever account I'm on, and yes, I have many accounts, I remember when they passed me in rank, the first time or first couple times I saw it, I was befuddled, because there ain't no fucking way. Nah, bro. There ain't no fucking way they passed him. Moi Vengeance? Impossible. Lo and behold, 1 or 2 days later, they would have dropped every division that they had earned or gained. I guess they didn't earn it. Every division that they had gained within that day or two to be where they were at before or even lower. The game uses agents to throw other people's games. Okay? I want you to open up your brain and think. Okay? If those guys weren't as good as me, right? They weren't as good as me. And then they pass me. They shoot past me too, right? Only to end up below where they once started. Keep following me here, okay? Thought experiment, baby. On their way back down, I want you to imagine how many games of other people they must have thrown on their way back down. Think about this. I have the God view of seeing them on my friends list shoot up and just blow past me in rank. And I also have the God view of seeing them just plummet back down all within a day or two. But the people who game they end up in, right? If one of those guys that I'm watching, that I'm talking about, ended up in your game and you lost that match, you would have been like, why the fuck couldn't that guy get it together? What? How's that guy my rank? Huh? And then your rank up game just fails. And you're like, damn, dude, it's always a rank up game. But that player who fucked up your rank up game has a backstory, and I'm watching it on my friends list. See, Elsa, in the hands of an expert, yes, can put work in and dominate an entire lobby. Not like literally, she doesn't want to be sit, but you know what I mean, right? She's impactful enough that EoMM has to actually struggle against Elsa. They have to send one or two of those agents in full force to fuck up your game. If your team, if you're a real good Elsa and your team is actually putting in the work, your chances of winning are at least 60%. At least, if you're a decent Elsa, right? And that's exactly what's needed, because this game has a way to combat the insane. What I'm saying, okay. And that's exactly what's needed, because this game needs a way to combat the insane healing output and the insane EoMM. So when I got good at Elsa and saw her carry potential, it felt good to know that if I have one or two people on my team who don't necessarily have thumbs, right, might be a little slow in the thinking area, I still might be able to win with a good hero. But NetEase wants to take that away from me. And in a game that already isn't fair, I simply won't stand for that. And with that said, this video is over, man. If you want the video where I'm going to expose the EoMM and in great detail, right, then you need to follow. Yes, as a viewer, you saw this video. I need you to share this video for me, for you, and for the sake of Marvel Rivals. Because like I said, I'm not going to just do it out the kindness of my heart. You and the game can die. Fuck it. But if this community shows me some love back, because I'm showing love for this community right now by making this video, even though it's about my hero and how I feel about it, it affects all of us. And having an Elsa that can carry your games can do a lot for you and combating the EoMM you might be experiencing. And in the future, you're going to want to play heroes that are good and that have a skill expression that appeals to you. And NetEase is going to just rip that away from you, just like they did with me and Elsa. And then you're going to feel real fucking stupid for not helping me out when I and other Elsa players and the entire community needed NetEase to understand that skill expression is indeed important. So share this video, follow the channel, and, get the word out there. Get word out there about this particular video and these particular issues, and get Elsa nerfs reverted to day one. Whether you like her or not personally, because that's what's good for Rivals, is players being able to have agency over their own game and being able to have a damage DPS or a tank that can challenge healers. If you watch Elsa gameplay in like Celestial or GM lobbies or whatever, you'll see that Elsa doesn't defeat healing. No one, unfortunately, defeats healing. But being able to challenge it, being able to tats it, that's huge. And it felt good. So you do that for me and the community and for Elsa and Elsa players all around the world. And yeah, I'll drop the EoMM video because, like I said, I'm not doing it out of the kindness of my heart. And if you want to understand how Rivals can be fixed, I will go hero by hero in an upcoming video and talk about that. So make sure you're here for that. But until heroes that I personally one trick, until they become viable, strong, and enjoyable to play, until they're restored to their day one releases and made even better than they were at their best moments, maybe even a little bit OP, dare I say, should I say? Let's face it, Blade deserves an OP season where Blade is like, people actually want to ban him because he's good. Blade deserves that. And Elsa deserves to be where she was at on the day one release. Yes, 12 fucking second ult and all. Until that happens, I'm fucking out. So, long story short, about what would get me to come back to Marvel Rivals is only one of maybe like 3 conditions, right? Number 1, all nerf reversions and the heroes I enjoy, Elsa and Blade, getting to be a bit OP. That happens, I'll come back. 2, a new hero comes out that I love. That would get me back, right? That would get me back. Or 3, EoMM completely gets removed. That will probably get me back too. Actually having fair matches, real fair matches. I could play Blade and maybe even feel good about it if like the matches I was in were real matches, or my stellar performance was recognized even though my team lost, and at least I didn't lose any points. What's the point of being the best in your team if you get penalized the same as everybody else? But the odds of them having a new hero come out that I love is 1 in 20, guys. It's not going to happen for maybe a year or 2. Maybe towards October we get like a Ghost Rider release or a Mr. Sinister release or something like that. Because the ratio says that I've only liked one tricking 2 heroes. And I'm a one trick by nature, and we have about 40 heroes in the game, maybe a little more. So only 1 in 20 heroes am I going to want to play. Like, on a regular basis, I like White Queen, right? Penny's cool. Punisher's cool. But on a regular basis that I'm looking forward to, oh man, I can't wait to hop on and play today. 1 in 20 heroes might do that so far. It could be 1 in 50 heroes or 1 in 60 heroes. We don't know how many heroes they're going to continue to make that I'm not interested in. But right now, only 1 in 20 heroes am I interested in. And both of those heroes are treated like shit. Psylocke, I guess, if you want to sort of count her, they treated her like shit before I really hopped on. And I got, like, put in the hours on her, though, But here's the thing about a new hero coming out that I could possibly enjoy. Let's talk about it real fast. There's one word that comes to mind. Distrust. Another word comes to mind. Betrayal. Yeah. Here's the thing. Black Cat right now is strong in the right hands. But who's to say she won't be made into a C-tier hero next season? Because that's what the fuck they did with Elsa. They made Elsa D tier just because she was living life as a B tier to S tier hero. Imagine that. So why would I take the time? Because Black Cat is going to be a specialist hero. There's going to be less people who play Black Cat than there are people who play Gambit. And Gambit is a specialist hero. You have to understand Gambit if you're going to be a good Gambit. You have to spend time on them. There's going to be less Black Cat players than there are Gambit players, right? People play Gambit mostly out of necessity because the enemy has a Gambit and they're like, oh shit, I'm not good at Gambit, but it's better than no Gambit. Black Cat won't be like that, right? If you're not good at Black Cat, don't touch her. That's how you help your team. It's not trying to say the enemy has a Black Cat, so now I'm a Black Cat. Just don't do that, right? It's not the same as an easy hero. Like the enemy has a cloak and dagger. You're like, I don't really like cloak and dagger, but they have one. I hop on that real fast and differ. I'm good at every other hero that I play, so I know I can beat this one trick cloak and dagger at her own game. No, you don't do that with Black Cat. So if you want to get good with Black Cat, you got to spend time with Black Cat. But what they already showed us with Elsa, right? If you're bad at Elsa, you're going to throw your games and the match is going to be horrible. Your team's going to lose. If you're mid Elsa, your team's still probably going to lose because you're not going to cycle enough damage. You're not going to be able to retain your stacks. You're not going to know when you should risk a stack to save your teammate or to touch point because you got to make the trade-off. You touch point, you're probably not living through it, which means you're going to come back weaker than you were for the next fight. You're not going to know when you should or can do that. There's so many decision makings and skill expression that go into Elsa that you have to learn and adapt to your own playstyle. Not every Elsa's going to play the same exact way either. Skill expression is there. Black Cat's going to be like that too. Honestly, even more so with all the abilities she has. She has more abilities and more magic in Marvel Rivals than any hero in Marvel Rivals, despite being a hero that doesn't command any magic at all. That's probably a video for another time. It's kind of funny, but it's true. So you spend time getting good at Black Cat, or I spend time getting good at Black Cat, for them to just make her C tier next season. Why would I do that? I just went through that with Elsa. Why would you do that? You're watching me go through that with Elsa. And what about the next hero they release in 4 weeks from now? Huh? If that one's decent or any good, who's to say that one's not going to be made D or C tier after you spend 100 hours with them or whatever, right? Even if they dropped a hero that I like in the next season or two, I wouldn't just run out and pick them up. I wouldn't be reluctant to. I just wouldn't do it, even if I liked the hero. Because I know NetEase doesn't give a fuck about what I like or what is fair or what is even right. They just care about being able to control my matches and your matches too. And it feels bad. You know? So the trust is broken with me now, and it won't be easily restored. So even if they released a hero that I thought was perfect for me, I just wouldn't run out and pick it up, you know? Because honestly, in 2 or 3 weeks, that hero could genuinely be made trash. And just saying it and knowing that it's true because it literally just happened, it's a bad feeling, man, for a game that I love. You know, and this is just the distrust, the betrayal that NetEase has created. And it can't just be undone overnight. If they realize their mistake, if they realize their error, if they realize how bad they just did the player base as a whole and how fucking dirty they just did Elsa players, and they revert that, then I could at least see that they're aware that they make bad calls and are willing to fix their bad calls, and that would restore some trust, and that would get me back into Marvel Rivals because they give me day one Elsa. I'm playing again. I'm carrying your games. I'm deciding more of my fate, even though EoMM monsters can still beat the best Elsa in the world. I have a lot more control over my fate. And if I'm spending my time on a game that's supposed to be competitive, then yeah, I should be able to go out there and decide the match by being extra locked in, extra cracked, and just fucking as an S tier combatant on the battlefield. I should be able to feel that and be rewarded for it in the payout of my efforts. So day one Elsa or bust, man. There's games out there that are looking pretty good. I'm looking forward to Fate Trigger. I'm looking forward to learning more about Deadlock. And, you know, if Rivals is no longer for me, if NetEase just wants to let EoMM win, then their game is going to die. If NetEase doesn't start shifting more towards a skill-based approach, where heroes that take more skill simply yield a greater reward, then the game's going to die. Elsa, the only hero that has a reward and punish mechanic, just got punished for no reason. And at her best, now plays as though she's in a state of when you're being punished and not playing well. 10 seconds on her dash. Insane. But anyways, that's it, man. I'm done with Marvel Rivals. I quit League of Legends because they did some bullshit and wouldn't fix it. And now I'm quitting Marvel Rivals. And if they don't fix it, then yeah, man. I'm just not going to waste my time in a game that doesn't respect me as a good player. As an amazing player, to be honest. Top tier. Top rank. Top 100. Fuck you, Rivals. Fuck you, NetEase. If you don't respect skill, then I don't respect you. Anyways, like, follow, subscribe. And remember, always strike with vengeance. This video does good, I'll expose EoMM. I don't give a fuck how NetEase feels about it. See you in the next video.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.